The Los Angeles Clippers. If you thought the Minnesota Vikings were inept at achieving accomplishments, oh, just you wait until you learn about the deep riches of failure that haunt the Clippers. 1970. You start out as the Buffalo Braves, and just like the city of Buffalo in December, you had 0 hot streaks as you finished your inaugural season dead last in your division at 22-60. No worries, it's your first season, and now that you can participate in the draft, surely you can start to build a winning culture, right? 1971. With the third pick in the 1971 NBA Draft, the Buffalo Braves select Elmore Smith from Kentucky State. As I'm sure most of you are aware, he was a total bust. Hopefully you don't make a habit of doing this. As for the season, you finished dead last in your division again with the same record of 22-60. I'm still not worried because the 1972 class is stacked and you've got the second pick. There's no way in hell you could fuck this up. 1972. With the second pick in the 1972 NBA Draft, the Buffalo Braves select Bob McAdoo out of North Carolina. That is arguably the best draft choice you have ever made in your 47-year history. Let's see how McAdoo does for you guys. Alright, so McAdoo won Rookie of the Year and had an outstanding season. But that doesn't translate into wins as you finished the season at 21-61. Oh well, things will get better as McAdoo develops into a star. Let's see what you get with the third pick you got this year. You draft Ernie DiGregorio, which was a smart move considering the Braves lacked a playmaker with a high basketball IQ that could set up all 5 players on the court for a scoring opportunity, which was the perfect fit for Bob McAdoo. In fact, it is such a good decision that Ernie wins Rookie of the Year and still holds the record of most assists in a game by a rookie with 25. Now that you have a solid core, this should be the year where you make your first playoff bid. And look at that, you clinched the 4th seed. You could shock the world. Unfortunately, reality kicks in and you're suffocated by a superior Celtics squad in 6 games. Better luck next year, boys. 1974. I told you so. Bob McAdoo won the MVP and you finished the season with a franchise-high 49 wins. All you have to do is get past the Bullets and you're in the conference championship. Make your city proud. And you got butt-fucked in 7 games. Shit. 1975, when you shed off that painful loss and returned to a new and improved playoffs with 4 rounds instead of 3. You slipped past the Philadelphia 76ers in a best-of-3 series, only to get slapped around by the Celtics in 6 games. Again. Fuck it, you got the 6th overall pick in the draft, and this is a perfect opportunity to become a championship team. 1976, you draft Adrian Dantley out of Notre Dame. He becomes Rookie of the Year, but that's where the compliments cease. Remember Ernie DiGregorio? Yeah, he suffered a career-ending knee injury and got shipped off to Boston for dirt cheap. McAdoo, he's gone. To make matters worse, management is so incompetent that despite having some playoff success in Buffalo, you're already looking to relocate to San Diego and rebrand yourself as the Clippers. You finished 30-52 and missed the playoffs entirely. 1977. Oh, what's that, Dantley? You don't like how management shipped off your primary playmaker? Get axed to the hell on earth known as the Pacers. To nobody's surprise, you replicate last year and finish 27-55. Management is sick and tired of financial bloodletting and you're going to relocate to San Diego this summer. In the entirety of your existence in Buffalo, you won a mere 1 playoff series and had an 8-13 playoff record. 1978. Turns out a fresh new start and a change of scenery was all you needed to start playing better. You finished your inaugural year in San Diego going 43-39. Unfortunately, you're now in a stacked Western Conference, which means you missed the playoffs. It's disappointing, but come back next year poised and you're ready to start a winning culture. 1979. Much like prominent porn stars like Dakota Sky, Riley Reid, and Piper Perry, don't ask how I know those, the San Diego Clippers are a total cock tease that leaves its fans hard but not satisfied at 35-47. Don't you worry, I'm just getting started. It won't be long before I'm either stone cold drunk or induce myself into a stroke from high blood pressure. Into the 1980s we go. 1980. Much like last year, mediocrity has dug its filthy hooks for hands deep inside of you as you finish 36-46 and squeal like a helpless swine to slaughter. You need some youth in your roster. Time to rebuild and replicate the middle of the Buffalo Braves. Sell fucking everything. 1981. As a direct result of gutting the roster in exchange for assets, you finished the season dead last in the Western Conference at 17-65. So what? With the assets we have, we'll be envying our greatness soon. 1982. With the second pick in the 1982 NBA Draft, the San Diego Clippers select Terry Cummings from DePaul University. Honestly, this was an ideal pick for the Clippers. They were desperate for a replica of Bob McAdoo that could score at will and bully their way into the paint for boards and scores. Even though Cummings won Rookie of the Year, it didn't translate to winning as the Clippers finished 25-57. Unfortunately, management is just as financially inept as last time, and the fans aren't taking kindly to the fact that the Clippers are hot garbage. Let's move to Los Angeles, where we can leech off the Lakers. 1983. This was your last year at San Diego, and you, in typical fashion, botched it. 30-52 season and second to last in the Western Conference. Woof. In your tenure at San Diego, you had an overall record of 186-306, had one winning season, and never made the playoffs. 1984. Unlike last time, you can't simply run away from your troubles and pull a good year out of your ass as you finish your inaugural year at Los Angeles at 31-51. Once again, second to last in the West. You'd think that players like Terry Cummings could lead the Clippers out of the slump, but now he's gone. Good luck. 1985. Repeat from last year and win one more game from the last year, finishing 32-50. The 80s were a really dark era for the Clippers, so I'm just going to list each year, their record, and the placement in the conference. Comprende? 1986. 12-70. Dead last and then some. 1987. 17-65. Dead last. 1988. 21-61. 11th. 1989. 30-52. 11th. 1990. Oh, thank fuck the 80s are over. Oh, I'm so stressed from looking at those numbers, I may be risk of getting a heart attack. Or, my heart will just work harder than a German prisoner at W in Siberian gulags. You walk into the turn of the decade finishing 31-51, which is 10th. However, unlike previous years, there is hope for future playoffs. 1991. Fucking finally. You finished the season with a winning record of 45-37. Your first one in 13 years. You also managed to make a playoff bid for the first time in your stay in Los Angeles. It is your first playoff bid since 1975. How did you do? You went the distance with John Stockton and Karl Malone's Utah Jazz, but came up short. Regardless, you're finally out of the basement. Make yourself heard. 1992. You follow up with a 500 season at 41 wins apiece. Regardless, you still made the playoffs and took Hakeem Olajuwon and the Rockets to the distance, only to come up short again. To make matters worse, this was the last year you could complete for the payoffs. Time to rebuild and hopefully come back stronger than before. Oh, that's the hope. 1993. As predicted, you guys went 27-55, and even then it wasn't enough to get the top pick. Next year, you're going all in. 1994. You went 17-65. You'd think that Los Angeles would get tired of your bullshit, but since you share Staples Center with the Lakers, you're just seen as the Lakers' little retarded brother that nobody really bothers for. 1995. At last, you're making progress toward returning to the playoffs. 29-53 season with much improved chemistry and efficiency. Think of the Clippers in this period as the current-day Philadelphia 76ers. They underwent a gutting of their roster to amass a team that could compete. Problem is, Sam Hinkie was a lot better at making transactions, as you're about to see. 1996. Oh my god, you finally returned to the promised land. One catch. You finished the season 36-46 and got pit up against the one-seeded Utah Jazz. To nobody's surprise, you got swept and embarrassed by a superior and well-rounded Jazz squad. 1997. Back to the drawing boards of tanking like Operation Desert Storm. 17-65 season. Your fourth one in franchise history. For fuck's sake. 1998. A lockout this year means that the Clippers only play 50 games, of in which they went 9-41. How in the bloody balls are you that bad? Fuck me. Jesus fucking Christ up the ass with no lube. 15-67? How the fuck are you guys still making enough money to support an NBA team? I would have been done with this shit 10 years ago. Ugh. 2000. At the turn of the millennium, you finally don't look like a walking pile of burning garbage. 31-51. Now can you please get your shit together before I start having ulcers? 2001. You went from being horrible to being mediocre. 39-43. For once in my life, I am so fucking glad that a team can embrace mediocrity. That shit was masochism. So please, hit the like button, fellas. 2002. Oh, never mind. You're back to being spectacularly terrible again. 27-55. 2003. This year was no better. 28-54. I gotta ask, how are your neighbors doing? 3 straight NBA titles. Ooh. That's 3 more than you've had in your existence as 3 different teams. Hell, that's even more than the amount of playoff series you've won, which so far is 1, which was back in 1976. 2004, Bobby Simmons finally decides to stand up to the occasion and wins the Most Improved Player award. You went 37-45, but I smell playoffs in your future. 2005, you've won a playoff series to Carmelo Anthony's Denver Nuggets. And then, in Clippers fashion, you lost a 7-game series to Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns. God damn it. Come back next year and I'm sure you'll taste more success in the near future. 2006. You just made baby Jesus cry, Clippers. You went 40-42 and missed the playoffs by a mere 1 game. As much as it pains me to say it, back to the drawing boards. 2007. Well, you officially have no core and you gotta retool everything for the 4th time since moving to Los Angeles. Have you no shame? 23-59 season. Oh, and that Sean Livingston guy had a career-altering injury from a broken leg, and you let him go. That's gonna bite you in the ass. 2008. Sean Livingston would be really helpful right now as you finish the year 19-63. Let's draft Blake Griffin. 2009. You draft Blake Griffin, but he suffers a season-ending injury before the season begins. 1 more year of terrible basketball fans. We promise we will return to the promised land. 29-53 season. 2010. Ha, damn. Blake Griffin's a beast. He wins Rookie of the Year and carries the Clippers to a 32-50 season. Now that he's got a year under his belt, let's see where he takes you. 2011. Your gift-wrapped Chris Paul after a failed trade with the Lakers was rejected by the league. Do not waste his career. Also, a lockout means that the league will only play 66 games this year. LA went 40-26 and returned to the playoffs. For the first time in franchise history, you win a 7-game series against the Memphis Grizzlies. Unfortunately, your next opponent is the San Antonio Spurs, and you got swept by Tim Duncan. 2012. You won your first ever division title in franchise history and went 56-26. What will you do in the playoffs? Imitate a revolving door and let the Grizzlies get their revenge on you in 6 games. 2013. The best regular season you've ever had. It's 57-25. And you even showcase your skill by downing the Golden State Warriors in 7 games. Unfortunately, you match up against Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook in the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they take you out to the prairie and shoot you like a dog in 6 games. 2014. Your division championship streak is over, but you still went 56-26 and managed to get revenge on the Spurs in 7 games. Luckily for you, all you have to do is beat James Harden's Rockets and you're in the conference championship. It would be the franchise's first ever conference appearance and you're up in the series 3-1. Then the curse of the Clippers kicks in and you somehow blew the series. Great work, guys. You must have made the whole city of Los Angeles run out of alcohol that day. 2015. It's amazing how you can have such a complete roster full of talent, yet you still haven't done anything remarkable. Is this the year you change that? Fuck no. You lose in 6 games to Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum and the Trailblazers. Clippers fans, I got nothing for you. Why are you not a Lakers fan yet? You must enjoy being disappointed, don't you guys? 2016. Back to business as usual as you finish the year 51-31 and are matched up against your old friend in the Utah Jazz. You stick to the script and choke away the series, effectively sealing your fate as a truly cursed franchise. I can't believe how unbelievably incompetent you had to be to lose the series when you had a perfect opportunity to take control of that series when Rudy Gobert got hurt. But I guess I was mistaken. 2017. You traded away Chris Paul and Blake Griffin this year, and now you ended your playoff streak going 42-40 and wasting away LA as you continue to be a leech to the Los Angeles Lakers. As of April 2018, your playoff series record is 5-13 with 0 appearances in the conference finals and a whopping 2 division titles. I'd say your basketball's version of the Washington Capitals, but at least the Caps have made the conference finals 3 times and even made a Stanley Cup once. Hell, they've even got, I believe it's 10 division titles. Yeah, they've done shit. You haven't. I'm done here. Bullshit, motherfucker.